My favorite teacher. My favorite teacher was Mrs. Johnson. She was the first teacher I had in elementary school, and I will never forget how much she cared about her students. Mrs. Johnson made learning fun and exciting, and I always looked forward to going to her class. One of the things I loved about Mrs. Johnson was her enthusiasm for teaching. She was always full of energy and excitement, and she made every lesson engaging and interesting. Even the most boring subjects were fun when she taught them. Her passion for teaching was contagious, and it inspired me to love learning too. Mrs. Johnson was also very patient and kind. She never made us feel dumb or embarrassed if we didn't understand something. Instead, she took the time to explain things to us in a way that we could understand. She made us feel valued and appreciated, and that gave us the confidence to ask questions and take risks. Another thing I loved about Mrs. Johnson was her creativity. She was always coming up with new and exciting ways to teach us. For example, she would use games, songs, and stories to help us remember important concepts. She even organized a school play that we performed for our parents and classmates. It was so much fun, and it helped us learn about teamwork and creativity. But what I loved most about Mrs. Johnson was how she made me feel. She believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. She encouraged me to pursue my dreams and never give up, no matter how hard things got. Her belief in me gave me the courage to take risks and try new things, and that has stayed with me throughout my life. I remember one time when I was struggling with a math problem. I had been working on it for hours, but I just couldn't figure it out. Mrs. Johnson saw that I was upset and came over to help me. She sat down beside me and patiently explained the problem to me, step by step. She didn't give up on me, even when I wanted to give up on myself. Finally, I got it. I was so proud of myself, and I knew that I could do anything if I put my mind to it. Mrs. Johnson was more than just a teacher to me, she was a friend and a mentor. She was always there to listen when I needed someone to talk to, and she gave me advice that I still use today. Her kindness and compassion made a lasting impression on me, and I will always be grateful for the time I spent in her class. Listen and practice. Repeat after me. My favorite teacher was Mrs. Johnson. My favorite teacher was Mrs. Johnson. She was the first teacher I had in elementary school. She was the first teacher I had in elementary school. I will never forget how much she cared about her students. I will never forget how much she cared about her students. Mrs. Johnson made learning fun and exciting. Mrs. Johnson made learning fun and exciting. She was always full of energy and excitement. She was always full of energy and excitement. I always looked forward to going to her class. I always looked forward to going to her class. She made every lesson engaging and interesting. She made every lesson engaging and interesting. Mrs. Johnson was also very patient and kind. Mrs. Johnson was also very patient and kind. She never made us feel dumb or embarrassed if we didn't understand something. She never made us feel dumb or embarrassed if we didn't understand something. She made us feel valued and appreciated. She made us feel valued and appreciated. Mrs. Johnson was more than just a teacher to me. She was a friend and a mentor. Mrs. Johnson was more than just a teacher to me. She was a friend and a mentor.